Welcome to Motorbike Explorer. At the end of the last episode, I was just approaching the border of Honduras and Nicaragua. Today, I'm crossing that border and will then head into the city of Esteli for the night, and then on to the rest of Nicaragua. Entering a new country is always exciting. There's new currency, new landscapes, a new culture, and also new friends to make. Some of the borders have been very stressful to cross, but at this point in my travels, it's expected. I've come up with a strategy now to lower that stress. Research the border crossings online and take the ones further away from the beaten path. I'm glad I decided to turn around to head for Danlí when I was faced with a road closure back in Tegucigalpa. This border has been one of the easiest to cross so far. Alright, I made it to Nicaragua. I ended up using a money exchanger on the street. You'll see people with a big wad of cash in their hands walking around looking for travelers. I researched the Honduran Lempira to Nicaraguan Cordoba exchange rate online, so I had a pretty good idea of how much my exchange would be. You'll get a much better rate on the street than at the banks. Now I have local currency in hand, a full tank of gas, and this beautiful new scenery in front of me. Life is good. Nicaragua is the largest of the Central American countries and has a population of just over 6 million according to a 2012 census. There are 3 distinct geographic regions. I'm currently riding through the Amarrisque Mountains, which is in the north-central region. Then there are the Pacific lowlands where the Spanish colonists had settled, and the Caribbean lowlands, which still contain the majority of indigenous tribes that have ancestry dating back to ancient Aztec and Maya civilizations. Agriculture has always been Nicaragua's primary economic engine, and in 2006, tourism became the second largest industry in the country, which positively affected all other industries such as finance, construction, commercial, and of course, agriculture. In just a decade, tourism has risen more than 300%, and back in 2010, the country was receiving over 1 million visitors from all over the world. Right now, I'm traveling along the Pan American Highway, and the roads are in good condition with no traffic. I learned back in Honduras to be wary of shortcuts. They can lead you down a path that is almost impossible to get through unscathed. I finally reached the northern outskirts of Esteli, where my hotel is located. I wish more days could be this easy. From the city of Esteli, I will be making my way over to the historic city of Granada for a few nights of much-needed rest and relaxation. I'm feeling refreshed and am ready for more. The bike is loaded up and now it's time to hit the road. This is the life of a moto nomad. My hotel is just off the highway, so getting back on track is pretty straightforward. Easy peasy. Esteli is the third largest city in Nicaragua, with a population of around 119,000, and the Pan American Highway runs right through it, resulting in a little bit of traffic. The highway is smooth and fast, which makes the scenery go by very quickly. Temperatures are mild in the region too. During the day it reaches 85 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius. You can see how important agriculture is to the country's economy here. I am passing a small airport that has a couple of crop dusting planes parked there. They most likely spray the massive farm fields that are in the area. These small farming towns and vast mountain ranges are just beautiful. I'm really enjoying my ride through Nicaragua, and I'm happy to be recording it and sharing it with you all through these episodes. It may not be a good idea, but during my trip, I have not had cell phone service since leaving the United States. I stay in touch with friends and family when I have Wi-Fi. I do use my phone's GPS for navigation and download offline maps during my stay at hotels and hostels. I kinda don't want to be connected all the time. It feels very refreshing. Finding hotels and hostels can be a little challenging too. I try to plan for a destination and look for accommodations when I do have online access. This saves a lot of time and money, but that doesn't always work out, especially during breakdowns and border crossings when plans can quickly change. My backup is to find a cafe or restaurant that has Wi-Fi and look for accommodations there. And as a last resort, I'll ride aimlessly through a town, asking hotel receptionists how much a bed costs for the night. I'm getting very close to the city of Granada. After looking at photos online, I'm really excited to walk the streets and sample some local cuisine. The buildings look very old here, and I've been seeing a lot of horses and buggies everywhere. It's like I just stepped into a time machine. The ride today was just a little longer than yesterday, 3.5 hours. That's far from the 8-hour days I was doing back in Mexico. I was traveling way too quickly. These historic buildings are brilliantly colored, and the sidewalks are tiled. It kind of reminds me of Antigua Guatemala. Muy hermoso. That means very beautiful in Spanish. After settling into my hotel, I headed out into the streets to explore the city on foot. Today, Granada has an estimated population of around 124,000. The city was founded in 1524 by Spain after battling the indigenous tribes of the area. By 1850, the city had grown to a population size of around 10,000, and in the 1980s fell into disrepair from neglect due to a nationwide economic collapse. The city is located along the northwest corner of Lake Nicaragua, which is the 20th largest lake in the world. You can barely see land on the other side. Granada had been at the center of the tourism industry in Nicaragua for quite some time, as foreigners bought homes and established businesses here. However, the boom has been steadily declining since 2007. I ended up spending a few nights here to unwind and immerse myself into the culture. I could have spent more time, but I must keep moving. There's so much more to see.
Muchas gracias para todo. Okay, thank you.
I had a great time visiting Granada and walking around the beautifully colored neighborhoods. I did notice there were a lot of empty cafes and restaurants that made the city feel less lively. It's a shame that tourism has been on the decline in recent years, because this is truly a special city, with many affordable hotel and hostel options, amazing architecture, and a picturesque lake right in the backyard. Perhaps some of you watching will be inspired to visit Granada on your next vacation. This is interesting. I'm stuck in traffic surrounded by horse and buggies. But I don't mind. I'd rather be stuck behind a horse than a truck or bus exhausting black smoke into my lungs. You may have noticed that I'm making a lot of right turns and going in circles. It may look like I'm lost, and to be honest, I am. All these streets are one-ways and I keep missing my turns. It's all just part of the fun. After checking the GPS, I eventually found my way out of the city. Thank goodness, because when I'm riding slowly, it gets very hot under all my protective gear. Goodbye, Granada. Maybe I'll visit you again in the distant future. It's time to cool off, so I've decided to head for the Pacific Ocean. From Granada, I'll ride toward a small village called Popoyo, and the hostel I found is located right on the beach. I'm really excited to spend some time at the beach. The last time I was in the ocean was at Playa del Carmen in Mexico, which was only about a month ago, but hey, who doesn't like going to the beach? The ride today is only 44 miles or 71 kilometers, and the majority of the 2-hour ride will be on dirt, which makes my pace a lot slower. The dirt road is a little challenging, especially on the corners. There are a lot of really loose and deep sandy areas that causes my handlebars to wiggle a bit. The main reason I'm going to Popoyo is that I have a special guest that will be visiting me in Costa Rica in a few days, and it's much cheaper to stay in Nicaragua while I wait. But you'll have to wait until next episode to see who that special guest is. I can tell I'm almost there because I'm starting to smell that fresh salty air. Finally made it. Popoyo and its surrounding beaches are known for having excellent surfing conditions. There is a consistent offshore breeze, and the reef shelf causes wave heights from 2 to 20 feet tall. It's Nicaragua's best surf spot. I must have come during the off-season because I only see a handful of people walking the beach each day. But that's okay by me. I don't mind a little peace and quiet. My stay has come to a close. I'm sure gonna miss this special spot. If you want to visit Popoyo for an amazing surf vacation, be sure to check out Hotel Operandi. You won't be disappointed. The recent thunderstorms have left a little bit of water on the roads, making some spots very muddy and slippery. Not a problem if you ride through carefully. I'll be following the coast southward for a bit and will stay at one more village before crossing the border into Costa Rica. The town I'm headed toward today is called Modus. Finally, some hard surface roads. It was starting to feel like I was riding a wave runner rather than a motorbike. There's surprisingly a decent amount of live animals being used for transportation in Nicaragua. I've seen just as much horse and buggies compared to cars. They're very nice to look at, but you have to be aware of how slow they go on these roads. I have some time to spare before checking into my next hotel, so I decided to ride through the small town on the way. The streets are filled with an outdoor market selling just about anything one would need. Before I knew it, I have entered into the village of Modus, and finding the hotel was a piece of cake. I spent just one quick night here so that I can arrive early at the border with Costa Rica. If you are an impatient person, the best times to cross is before and after lunch. This is it, the final stretch to Costa Rica. It seems like Nicaragua passed by in a blink of an eye, which is a shame because it's so very beautiful here. I noticed that no one is in a rush here. The country evokes a time when daily life was much more simple. If you want to sample the slow-paced daily life of Nicaragua during your next travel destination, don't hesitate. The roads look like they may be difficult to traverse, but they're not. I saw many buses on the dirt roads stopping at various beach towns, so as a backpacker, getting around would be very manageable. Unfortunately, it's time to end this episode, but don't worry, a new one is on the way, just as soon as I finish editing it. I want to thank you for joining me during my travels through Nicaragua. And as always, safe travels everyone, wherever they may be, and have a wonderful day.